Bisping and Rockhold almost get heated during their podcasts. Michael Bisping recently appeared on the Jaxxon Podcast alongside Luke Rockhold in an episode that had been hyped for months as a chance for the two longtime rivals to finally bury the hatchet. The buildup had fans eagerly anticipating a genuine resolution, and the episode started on a promising note. The pair shook hands, exchanged a few lighthearted jabs, and seemed to be on decent terms. However, co-host Bear DeGidio couldn't resist stirring the pot. With Rockhold sitting right beside Bisping, Bear asked which rematch victory felt better: Bisping's stunning knockout over Rockhold or his hard-fought revenge against Dan Henderson. The question, dripping with tension, felt designed to provoke Rockhold and reignite the rivalry, drawing immediate backlash from the MMA community for being unnecessarily inflammatory. Despite the awkwardness in the room, Bisping maintained his composure, brushing off the instigation with his usual wit and charm, doing his best to defuse what could have easily escalated into another heated exchange. Just as Bisping managed to say a couple of sentences, the episode abruptly cut to another scene, leaving fans wondering what might have been said off camera and if their fragile peace had really lasted.
And for you, when it comes to revenge, what was better, the Henderson or the Luke fight?
Do you know what, to be honest, I don't really concern myself with Luke. Couldn't care less. It's all history. It all happened. Anything that happened in my career, whether I won or lost, it's all a part of history. It's all part of my path. It's all part of the journey to make me the man that I am today. So
well, you're a better man than me. I get upset.
Any of it.
You're
like people on Twitter all the time. Oh, bring up Henderson. I'm like, bro, you really think that upsets me?
But what are they tweeting?
What the fuck have you done with your life?
What could they possibly tweet?
I didn't beat him the first time.
I know that. But as a fighter, I'm not a fighter. As a fighter, once you get that revenge win or that secondary win, shouldn't it wash it? Now an audience shouldn't be able to talk so loud, right?
People still talk shit.
It was a close fight. It was a close fight, and Hendo did get him with the second fight pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
He hit me with two punches. They were two good right hands.
Fighting
Other
Dan,
than that, I
you just know.
ass.
You did, but you know one fucking thing's coming with Henderson. Like just the whole time, you just gotta sit there and just like.
Bear, what the fuck, bro? That's just pure instigating for the sake of starting drama. And what a weird and awkward thing to do with Luke sitting right next to him. Mike and Luke would get along so much better without Bear asking stupid questions. Cut at minute 45. Why didn't you cut right after you asked the question and then have his second part be the answer without letting the beginning of the first one in the video? I picked that up too. I think Luke got sour in the beginning, however at the end seemed all good there. Umar Nurmagomedov believes the champ Merab Dvalishvili is just looking for easy paydays. Later this month, the two will face off for the bantamweight title in the co-main event of UFC 311. While the build-up to the fight has been short, it's certainly been intense. Initially, Merab dismissed Umar as a serious title contender, instead calling for rematches with fighters he's already beaten, like Sean O'Malley and Peter Yan. Then at the first press conference for UFC 311, Merab became visibly enraged, shouting at Umar and repeatedly calling him a piece of shit, while Umar stayed calm and composed. In a recent appearance on UFC's YouTube channel, Umar stated, "I think he just wants to fight with a guy who he can beat." Umar explains that while Merab might be confident against other opponents, facing him will be a different story. He points out that the champ has been avoiding high-risk matchups, preferring to fight fighters like O'Malley or Peter, where he sees an easier path to victory. For Umar, however, this fight will be much tougher for the champ. He doesn't expect Merab to dominate him with takedowns or control the pace. With his striking skills and determination, Nurmagomedov plans to make it a long, challenging night for his opponent. Umar acknowledges that while Dvalishvili might be capable of winning, he doesn't believe he is willing to take risks in this fight. Umar emphasizes that fighting is a battle, and though anyone can lose, he won't be broken by a potential loss. What matters most is that he's prepared for a tough, no-holds-barred contest. In his eyes, Dvalishvili's hesitation to face high-risk opponents reveals his fear of taking chances in the cage. There's no denying the risk for Merab Dvalishvili. Odds makers have currently made Umar a nearly 3-1 favorite over the reigning bantamweight champion. That's a daunting challenge for Dvalishvili. And although Nurmagomedov acknowledges that anything can happen in a fight, he believes the situation actually looks even worse for Merab. The odds suggest that Umar's skills and undefeated record put him in a strong position, making this a particularly tough test for the champion. In a recent appearance on the Overdogs podcast, former UFC title challenger Yoel Romero shared insights into Khamzat Chimaev's exceptional wrestling skills. Originally spoken in Spanish and translated for the audience, Romero revealed behind-the-scenes stories from their gym sessions, offering a glimpse into the exchanges between himself and Chimaev. Romero, an Olympic wrestling legend himself, didn't hold back in praising Khamzat's skills. He talked about seeing him train with the Saitiev brothers, Adam and Buvizer, two of the greatest wrestlers in history. Yoel even mentioned how he faced and lost to Adam in the finals of the Sydney Olympics, so he knows firsthand just how good they are. What impressed him most was how Khamzat held his own with them and even got the better of Yoel during their sparring sessions, putting him in tough chokes. That kind of wrestling pedigree, as Yoel put it, is what makes Khamzat's performances so special, like the high-level wrestling he showcased against Whitaker. Quote, "Khamzat Chimaev is the real deal. His wrestling is on another level. I watched him train with the legendary Saitiev brothers, Adam and Buvizer, who are two of the most extraordinary Olympic wrestlers in history. Adam beat me in the Sydney Olympic finals, and Buvizer is nothing short of a wrestling icon. Seeing Khamzat not only hold his own, but thrive in those sessions was incredible. I've grappled with him personally, and let me tell you, he put me on my back and locked me in some of the hardest chokes I've ever experienced. Khamzat's wrestling isn't just good, it's wrestling royalty. That's exactly why we saw such a dominant performance from him against Whitaker." Iangarry offers to serve as backup fighter for Belal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Garry is widely regarded as one of the most exciting welterweight fighters in the world, and it's a reputation that's hard to dispute, even if some may still be hesitant to fully acknowledge it. With immense potential, Garry showcased his skills in his recent bout against Rakhmonov, pushing his former training partner to the brink before ultimately losing by decision. Despite the loss, Garry's stock seemed to rise due to how competitive the fight was. For Rakhmonov, the victory sets him up for a title shot against Belal Muhammad, which had been the original plan. In a recent interview, Machado Garry made it clear that he is ready and willing to step in as a replacement should the opportunity arise, further showing his confidence and eagerness to take on top-level challenges. Quote, "I know in my heart and my soul, and I see the fans are giving me a lot of love and a lot of respect for that fight. I'm absolutely, in my mind, the #2 contender in the world, so could I see the UFC booking me as a replacement? Yes. Do I think it's realistic? Potentially. However, we'll see when the cards come. If they want that, if they need that. I will say one thing, I will be ready if they want me. Like I always am, ready, prepared for anyone and anywhere." End quote. What do you guys think? Is Garry ready for a shot at the title, or does he need more time to prove himself at the top level? Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for daily MMA news.